Pearl Sky, an Elemental Legacy story, written by Elizabeth Hunter, narrated by Sean William Doyle. Chapter 1. They would know. How could they not know? They were the wisdom of the ancient world, immortal warriors, scholars, and kings, nearly gods. They would know, but he had no choice. Fate had anointed this for him, though the act might, probably would, end in his death. Fate had given him one task to accomplish in his short, fleeting life. One gift he could give to the world, one song that must be heard. She must be heard. He was the only one who saw her dimming light. Unless he did this, she would die as he would, an insignificant human living an insignificant life. And he knew she was destined for more. The man stared at the golden seal before him. The luminous black pearl glowed with an inner fire, staring back at him from the dragon's eye. Swirling milky white and golden brown jade surrounded the glowing dragon. Intricately carved carp swam among lotus flowers and churning waves. It was a priceless treasure. No, everything had a price. Everything. The man took a delicate hammer and chisel to the wood around the seal and methodically began to tap. Chapter 2. Ben woke at dusk, the dark scent of his mate filling his senses. She surrounded him, her simmering ominous snapping in the air like electricity before a storm. Before he opened his eyes, he reached for her, and as their skin met, the sparks snapped, then dissolved in the damp air of the river house. "Did you sleep?" He kept his voice a whisper. "A few minutes." He knew she usually slept longer, but wasn't surprised that her layers of armor hadn't allowed her to dream. They were hours away from Penglai Island, formal seat of the 8 immortals, and home of their sire, Zhang. They had arrived at the river house the night before, their last stop on the flight from the west coast. They were going to Penglai for a celebration, but his mate was not in a celebratory mood. He smelled the river that ran through the courtyard, the moss-covering ancient stones, and the familiar aroma of bone broth simmering in the outdoor kitchen of their house in the water town east of Shanghai. She moved over him, burrowing her face into the crook of his neck and filling her nose with his scent. He smiled because he knew what she...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?